Jesus, just look at this place. Looks like something out of Deliverance. Hi guys, Steady Eddie here. Not always ready, but always steady. Okay? Now, I'm down in the woods today. I thought it was going to be a really sunny day, but I don't know, sky looks a bit overcast. But never mind anyway. I'm here in the woods today. I'm having a little walk and a talk. Now, for those who've never seen me before, I am basically a travel vlogger who makes videos usually around Southeast Asia, that sort of thing. Unfortunately, owing to the circumstances of the past year, which we don't really need to talk about because it's too depressing, I haven't really been able to make too many videos. Well, I haven't been able to travel, as a matter of fact. So here I am right now. But nevertheless, I hope everyone is keeping well right now and keeping positive in these sort of negative times. And what I'm going to walk and talk about today is the fact that even though my channel is, you know, sort of slowed down, slowly but surely, a nice little old milestone has slowly but surely crept up on my channel. And this milestone is one that I'm very, very pleased about. It is the whopping great milestone, the super duper mega poptastic milestone of 10 million views. Oh look, the sun's coming out at last. Now what you tend to find is that many vloggers often do a subscriber milestone celebration sort of thing. You know, when they reach maybe 10,000, 20,000 subscribers, they do a little celebration video. That's quite normal. But they don't tend to celebrate the amount of views that they have. I don't know what the reason is for that. You know, maybe, I don't know, maybe because it sucks. But the fact is, I've worked really hard over the last 4 years to get my channel to 10 million views, even though I'm not really a full-time vlogger. I'm more of a part-time one, really. But I've reached 10,000 views. I'm very, very proud of that. And I'm going to do a little bit of a celebration of it. Right. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You are thinking, 10 million views on YouTube. Well, that's good. But isn't it true that some of those really big vloggers, they have billions of views? Yeah, that is true. That is true. Some of those really big YouTubers do indeed have billions of views. Or you may be thinking, 10 million views? Well, wait a minute. I know someone who's got 10 million views with one video. Yeah, that also is true. I also know somebody who has 10 million views with one video. Now, I think the first thing that you've got to say about all of that is that if you have a YouTube channel and you work hard and you're pleased with your results, whatever you do not start comparing yourself to other people. With regards to other vloggers, especially the really, really big ones, don't worry about it. You know, don't start comparing yourself to them, because the fact is, no matter how big your achievement is and how proud you are of it, there's always going to be someone who's bigger and better than you are. Be proud of your little achievement and don't compare yourself to other people. But what I'll do, towards the end of this video, I will come back to that subject about why you shouldn't compare yourself to other people. Their circumstances, remember, are probably very different than yours. So what I'll do with this video, I'll quickly run through my YouTube channel, what I've done with it over the last 4 years, taking it from 0 to 10 million views. And if you have a YouTube channel of your own, then, you know, you could find this video to be useful. The thing that you have to realise is that YouTube is a very difficult nut to crack. You may not have thought so, but once you get going on it, believe me, it is. Obviously, especially if you don't fit the typical YouTube stereotype. I'll give you an example, or well, let me just divide, let's say 2 categories of YouTuber, and I'd like you to tell me which ones you think I fit into. Do I fit into the A, young, trendy and good looking, or B, the fat, ugly, decrepit old bastard? What? Oh, okay, forget that one. Don't answer that one. Let's move on from there. Well, I think you can see the point that I'm making. I mean, YouTube and the internet in general is probably more geared up to younger people than it is to older people. But even for younger people, it can be really quite a difficult nut to crack. I'll tell you about my own experiences, my first experiences with YouTube, which began 4 years ago. Well, briefly, what it was is that 4 years ago, I, reduced my working hours. Yes, I do have a day job. I reduced my working hours and had a little bit of time on my hands. And I thought, so what shall I do? Well, I'll start a little bit of a hobby. So, as someone who has travel the world for many, many years. I mean, that's my winter hobby, traveling to Asia, Latin America, whatever. But I never really made videos, well, mediocre stuff, but not serious videos. But I had a few hours on, extra hours on my hands for reducing my working hours. So what did I start doing to fill the time in? Well, believe it or not, I actually started writing poems. Yes, that's right. Just silly poems, thought-provoking poems, maybe a few funny poems. Just write a few poems simply, for the time filler, something to do, really. And then I noticed one day that I could upload videos to YouTube. I bought a new laptop and I noticed, you can upload videos to YouTube from here. And I thought about that and I thought, wait a minute, wouldn't it be an idea with those poems that I'd written, quite a few of them, wouldn't it be a good idea if I actually made videos out of them? Well, that's something different. Could even I could become the poet laureate of YouTube, you never know. Of course, I was new to all of this and didn't know what I was doing. So I started making a few videos using a mediocre camera, a mediocre webcam, whatever, and basically started uploading them to YouTube. Now, they didn't really get anywhere. No one was really interested in that sort of stuff, although there are a couple of them that are still on my list to this very day. But basically, the first year of YouTube, trying to upload poems and all, which nobody was interested in, and then I started doing what I should have done in the first place, maybe done a little bit of travel vlog, and I was in Bali, Cambodia, Thailand, countries like that year, but I had not a very good camera, and I wasn't an experienced travel vlogger, and I'd seen a couple of the other guys doing it, but basically I didn't really know what I was doing. So basically, because no one was interested in the poems, I started doing a few mediocre travel vlogs, and no one was really interested in that either. And after a year of being on YouTube, banging my head against the wall, I mean, I really got to like the creativity of it. But the fact is that no one was interested in what I was doing, which doesn't exactly make you feel very good. So yeah, after a year of YouTube, attempting YouTube I should say, I felt like giving up. There's an important point I want to make here, especially for somebody who has a YouTube channel but isn't getting anywhere with it and really feels like giving up, because you will get to the point when you're just banging your head against the wall, going nowhere with it, and you think, what's the point? I may as well just give up. I mean, in my case, especially at my age, I thought I'm clearly not cut out for this sort of thing. But, I spent a year on YouTube getting nowhere. Now, you also may be going through the same thing. But what you've got to realise is that year of going nowhere, struggling on YouTube to get anywhere, you may think it's a wasted year. It's not really, because the fact is you've got to start somewhere, and that year is actually a learning process for you. You can consider that your basic training. During that year where you're getting nowhere on YouTube, presumably what you will be doing is watching a lot of videos, how-to videos, about how to make a successful YouTube channel. There's tons and tons and tons of them on the internet. I could recommend loads of them, but you just type in, I need help with my YouTube channel. There's massive information on YouTube itself. So presumably during that year when you were struggling, you will be looking at videos like that. You may even come across words that you'd never heard before, words like thumbnails and that sort of stuff. I learnt all that in the first year. You will also be looking at camera videos, and you'll be learning about camera and editing techniques that you didn't know before. So even after the year, even if you haven't got anywhere, you will have had a year's experience in YouTube. So that is your basic training. So even though you've got nowhere after a year, it is not a wasted year. That year is still a valuable year to you. But nevertheless, after a year of getting nowhere, yeah, as many people do, I felt like giving up. So after the year of being a failure on YouTube, feeling really quite despondent, because I like the idea of a YouTube channel, but it was really was disheartening when you're not getting anywhere. I failed to become the poet laureate of YouTube. I'd done some travel videos which were not really very good and no one was really interested in them, and yeah, I felt like giving up. But before I gave up, there was just one last thing to do, and this comes back to one of my favourite sayings is keep it simple. Keep it simple, don't try to be too clever. So what did I do as a last ditch attempt to try and make something of my YouTube channel? Well, what I'd done is simply sit in a chair in front of a webcam and talk. So what did I talk about? Well, the obvious thing, travel. I mean, as someone who had travelled for many, many years, you know, through Latin America, Southeast Asia, touched on Africa, Europe, many, many other places, I had a wealth of travel experience, first-hand travel experience to share with people. And I wanted to sit down in a chair and do videos where I talked about my travel experiences or what you need to know about travel, especially with, you know, aiming at middle-aged men. You know, that's my target audience, of course. And to tell people who've never really been to these places all about them and what they really, really need to know in a no-nonsense sort of way, because you do hear an awful lot of BS about these places, and I was going to be fairly vociferous about that. No BS with me. I'm going to tell it like it is. And do you know what? Do you really, really, really know what? It worked. Where everything else I'd done on YouTube failed miserably, no one was interested, all of a sudden I had an audience. I started getting subscribers in. You know, who was this curious old geezer sitting in front of a webcam on YouTube telling us things about Southeast Asia, Thailand, Cambodia, whatever. But the fact is, I was targeting middle-aged men like me who want to travel to these countries or who may never have been there before and needed to know certain things. And yeah, I started to get an audience. People, you know, people sort of like me. You know, they like my no BS approach. What did I talk about? I talked about the safety of these countries. I talked about the cost of hotels, the cost of beers. In what amounted to really not that many videos, I did get some really, really good response from them. And also I talked about a very important subject for guys who want to go to Southeast Asia, the cost of ladies, the cost of female company. Yes, I didn't mince words. I didn't really see I had anything to lose anyway. You know, just tell it like it is. Simple as that. And people either like you or they don't like you. Well, it wasn't long when I started making those talking head videos that I had it. Oh yes, I had it. I had the holy grail of YouTube videos that struggling YouTubers dream about having. I had the viral video. Oh yes, actually it was quite long, so I divided it into parts 1 and 2, and it became 2 videos, and they went viral, and well, they went into the millions, and they really brought a lot of subscribers and views and whatever with them. Now, an important thing I want to say about those viral videos is that I make videos targeted at a middle-aged men or the audience. I do not make videos for nuns, and I certainly don't make videos for kids. So any of you young people who may be intrigued by those viral videos and may want to check them out, don't. You are forbidden from watching them. They are for adults only. They are full of dirty, filthy, smutty talk, and I don't want you watching them, okay? Now, there's an important point I want to make about having a viral video, or 2 viral videos in my case, is that once you have that viral video, it really, really does give a big boost to your YouTube channel. But a very important point I want to make is that you must move on from it very, very quickly. You are then faced with an enormous challenge after having a viral video to make damn sure that you are not a one-hit wonder, because being a one-hit wonder is really, really, really not a good thing to be. Think of all those famous one-hit wonder songs that you know of. You know, I know of one band who had a massive hit with a song, but they became to hate that song simply because whenever they played concerts years later, everyone was always just waiting for that one song. It became a sort of lead weight around their neck. Well, it's similar with YouTube videos. If you do have a viral video, if you are lucky enough to have one, then you must move on from it. I mean, I've seen a lot of YouTube channels where you know, they've got a massive amount of subscribers, but they're constantly getting very, very little views, and you think, well, how did they get to that level? And then you find that, you know, they've got one viral video somewhere down the list, you know, a Chihuahua who's wearing sunglasses on a skateboard, you know, and that was their viral video. But you know, at the end of the day, you can't live on that. You really want to make a channel, a proper YouTube channel, not based on one video. Well, I'm pleased to say that, you know, I quickly followed up my viral videos. Never really got into the millions ever again, but I've had plenty of videos that have gone 100,000, 200,000, maybe even beyond that. So, you know, I've done everything I can to prove in the last few years that I'm not a one-hit wonder. So, from almost giving up on my YouTube channel at one time, you know, I persevered, and now after 4 years of YouTube, I've actually reached 10 million views. And I really am thrilled about that. I'm on about 37,000 subscribers, something like that. The subscriber to view ratio is pretty good. My YouTube channel, you know, is, well, it's healthy anyway. I can only lament the last year, because at the end of the day, I am a travel vlogger, and the current situation has meant that I haven't been able to travel for over a year now. You know, I sort of think to myself, if I had been able to travel, then I would have hit that 10 million milestone long ago. But it is what it is, and there's no point crying over spilt milk. What I would like to do is, of course, to thank everyone who's ever subscribed to my channel, and also who's watched my YouTube videos. There's still quite a lot of people who regularly watch those videos who are not actually subscribed to the channel. So if that's the case, then please do so. It doesn't cost you anything. You know, hit the big red button, and also press the notification bell next to it to be notified of latest uploads, because that really does help. It helps my channel grow. So I would appreciate that. So, back to what I was saying earlier about why you should never compare yourself to other YouTubers, other bigger YouTubers, especially those really big, young and trendy ones. The fact is that their circumstances are probably very different than yours, or mine for that matter. For all you know, they could be working as part of a team. Many of them probably are. And they therefore don't have to go through that long, laborious editing process that the rest of us have to do. Also, they may not have day jobs. YouTube is probably their full-time occupation if they're really that big. I mean, I still have a day job. I suspect many of you people do too. And at the end of the day, you know, you've got to put food on the table. So, you know, the day job is what really, you know, takes most of your time. At the end of the day, I suppose I'm still a part-time YouTuber. I'd like to be full-time, but, you know, as I said, you know, I'm a travel vlogger, and travel isn't too healthy right now. It's also, of course, how much time and effort you really physically can put into YouTube. I mean, I can think of another travel vlogger, a really big travel vlogger that I watch a lot, and he has 10 times as many subscribers as me, 10 times as many views as I have, but he also has 10 times as many videos. I have 200 plus videos, he has 2,000 plus. So you have to be realistic. I mean, it is hard work at the end of the day, and if you really want to make something out of YouTube, you really have got to put the time and effort into it. It really is as simple as that. Another important point to consider about those really big YouTubers, the ones with billions of views, a lot of them didn't necessarily start out on YouTube. They come from other parts of the entertainment industry. So before they started on a YouTube channel, they were already really well known. You're probably more like me, you know, nobody knows who you are, and you've got it all to do. You've got to do it single-handedly and go out there and prove yourself. Okay, so I better wrap this up now. I think I've said enough on all of this. I hope this has been useful to anyone who's thinking of starting a YouTube channel. And if anyone's thinking of giving up because you're getting nowhere, remember, I was in that situation once. And now, I'm really pleased that I've just hit the 10 million views milestone. It took 4 years to get here, but I'm really pleased about it. And of course, I thank once again each and every one of you who's ever watched any of my videos. Thanks for that. So, what's going to happen next on this channel? Well, my pledge is to start making a lot more videos, but before I do that, I need to get travelling again. So how is the travel prospects right now in 2021? Well, they are pretty grim, but to be truthful, I wouldn't be travelling during UK summertime anyway. It's late in the year I'm looking at. Thailand is the most hopeful, but it will take a few months before we really see the full picture of what's happening. But I feel optimistic. Good times will return eventually, and when they do, I'm going to make up for lost time. And as for the channel, well, I see it getting bigger and better. In fact, I can think of a few vloggers who were on the same level as me a couple of years ago, and now their channels are huge. And that's simply because they put the hard work into it. Well, that's what I gotta do. I'm just waiting for the right moment to begin again. So, thanks for watching, keep thinking positive, peace, love and goodwill to everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.